Opening the show today with some breaking news already. Free agency. We're getting going, and we have another Seahawks signing. Offensive lineman Josh Jones was yesterday. Today, addressing another area of need. Veteran wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling is signing with the Seahawks on a one-year deal worth up to $5.5 million. That from NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. Bump, wide receiver was obviously an area of need for Seattle. I don't know that either of us expected them to go after big-ticket names.
No.
I know a lot of fans were hoping for Godwin before he re-signed, hoping for Diggs, who's still out there. What do you make of this one?
No, I like it. I'm not mad at this. People are going to be underwhelmed. They're not going to be extremely excited about this, but this is the type of receiver that you need. 6'4", 206 pounds, has had some decent years, right? He's never had that 1,000-yard season. The most he's had was with the Green Bay Packers in 2020. He had 690 for 6 touchdowns, and we know that he won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, no, I like this signing because it provides competition for Jake Bobo and Derek Young. I still think Marquez gets the nod, but you have a big outside receiver that can hold safeties responsible and could be a nice little tandem. I'm not expecting him to go for 1,000 yards. I don't think you need that out of this type of receiver, but what I do like, Jason has some help right now. Some young guys and Jake Bobo can compete, and I guarantee you they're going to grab a receiver in the draft.
Absolutely.
Nice combination. You got a third-year guy, a 7-year veteran, and then some young guys to compete.
Look, I can already promise you, Bump, and you know this as well. There are some people that are going to be looking up Marquez's stats. I'm just going to say MVS, to shorten this. They're going to be looking up MVS's stats, and they're going to go, okay, this doesn't blow me away. Like, Tyler Lockett was a fan favorite. I loved what he did. He finishes second all-time franchise history in a number of receiving categories. DK Metcalf was a game changer. He may not have been a top 5, wide receiver, but God, was he like a commanding presence on the field. Maybe Marquez isn't really that, but here's the thing, and this is kind of the conversation that we had actually planned on getting to, so it's fitting that the first signing kind of fits into this. The Seahawks have not really attacked free agency in the way that people have ever wanted them to attack free agency. I know that earlier in the week, there were a lot of people upset that the Seahawks weren't one of the teams that were either very clearly in on Will Fries or certainly the team that signed him. That would be the Minnesota Vikings at $18 million per. That's a contract I would have been comfortable giving a really good veteran guard who could fill in right away. The Seahawks couldn't sign him. But, Bump, I don't think the Seahawks have ever approached free agency that way, which is both a critique and a defense.
Well, there's still time, too. There's still time, and they still got a bunch of cap space. I know you're not overwhelmed by this move, but if you understand who Marquez is, he's a guy who stretches the field. He's a guy who's been in this Kubiak offense before, so there's less teaching over there. He's a guy who can give you 400 to 600 yards a year. Yeah. Actually, I'm going to push towards 600 because right now he's probably the number 2 receiver. And number 2, you'll get about 600. You can look at Tyler Lockett and say, well, how come you didn't bring him back to do that? Because Tyler Lockett wasn't going to take the pay cut that you were going to ask him to take. And his game is just different. Marquez, and this is no disrespect to Tyler Lockett, I think he is officially the second best receiver to ever come through here. His game is just different. Marquez isn't going to get the ball and kind of look to go down. He's going to get the ball and trying to get yards after catch. Marquez is a big body, which automatically requires some attention from the safety. Listen, I'm selling you on Marquez, but I also want you to know that the expectations aren't 1,000 yards and, oh, my God, he's the catalyst to this whole thing. JSN is the guy and should be the guy and will be the guy. Marquez is just that second option right now. That doesn't mean that they're not going to go on this draft and pick up a receiver. So you have to be patient. You have to be patient with this, and you have to understand that this is a long game in a short period of time. You got a few days to try to figure this out, maybe a week or so, and then you head towards the draft and see what you can do there. But I'm not going to look at the draft and ask a rookie receiver to save us. I'm going to look at the draft and say, rookie, you come in and try to fit in, and if you are able to pass up Marquez, then you go ahead and do that. When you're approaching free agency, there are about 8 to 10 guys a year where people are looking at them and saying, must have them. I will pay them whatever they need. If we need an offensive lineman, I'm going to get Becton. If we need this guy, I'm going to get that. There's only about 8 to 10 guys that really require that much attention. Other than that, you're trying to bring in an older guy, a veteran, who has had a decent career, and you're looking to resurrect it somehow. Or you're looking just to take what he has left and apply that to your offense and your defense just to keep things going. There aren't superstars at every position on offense or on defense, and I think that's where kind of people get caught up in thinking, Marquez, what is he going to do? He's not a star. There aren't stars at every position. I know you're coming off of JSN and DK and then Lockett, but Lockett, it took him some years to become who he was. DK, he's still a young man, and JSN, you're catching him in the beginning of his career. They have to be supported, and role players are not stars. So if you're looking for Marquez to come in and go for 1,000 yards and you're underwhelmed, then I think that you're looking at this thing the wrong way. He's a big receiver that's on the outside that can stretch the field. He's not going to catch every football thrown to him. He will make some big plays. He will drop the football. This is football. Everybody's not a star. So you got to try to look at what he has left in the tank and understand how that might apply and help Jason out.